just wanted to speak about like the helping others when it comes to like realizing the self and stuff. Yeah, and like, is it? Um, yeah, I guess I'm kind of just starting to think about yeah, about how I can help others. Maybe I'd help others realize the self and stuff like that, and yeah, what benefit that might come from that if yeah. So,
Benefit to whom?
well, I don't know. Yeah. Um, that's a good question. Yeah. Um, well, benefit to the other person. Um, yeah. Um,
But how do you know the other person wants that benefit?
uh, um, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about it because I'm just like, yeah. I don't know. I don't know whether how like obviously that's something you've been doing through like conscious circle and stuff like that. And yeah,
This is the thing. This is the misconcept. I'm not doing. If tomorrow you
okay,
tell me you don't want to come and close it, I am the most happy person. I'm the most happy person if this closes tomorrow. It is something which just came. I didn't plan at all. I never planned about it.
right,
If you want to know how it came, I can explain you right now. So
yeah,
the way this spirituality came, I was not after it madly, or it just came and then things unfolded. And then what happened was, there is a group in Sydney and they told me, why don't you just start a center for Bhagwan? Because what I found was through Bhagwan's teachings. And for some things you can never say no. Like, you can say no. I could have said no, but I don't know. I thought this is so beautiful. If someone is asking me to have a Bhagavan Ramana Maharishi center or something like that, when study group, I said yes. And this is the way we did. And when I did first time, I can't, there are some people are not even here. Some people have joined, some have left. And for me, it is not at all important that this group should continue. Not at all. Least important. So it is, I'm not on any missionary zeal or a plan to make it big or something should happen out of it.
right,
Because I'll tell you, the moment you put intentions like that into things, others might benefit, but you will lose. I don't know also about others. Others might benefit or not benefit. And the one who would like to have it, he will smell it, he will hear it, he will come to it by some way or the other, and he will get through it. And the one with whom you do what you are doing, and if they are not listening to it and you try to teach them, they can continue listening and nothing will happen to them. So I know where you are coming from, Andy. You have a very noble thought, but then this thought can be a trap again, because let's say you want to help others, but we don't know whether others want help or not. They are not interested in it. So then it becomes more like a propaganda, or like a missionary zeal, that I want to convert or teach or tell people, which is good, because you must be feeling that, because there's something, some change has happened within you, and you think, why don't I share this with the near and dear ones, and that is beautiful. So your own presence is that sharing. And when someone is interested, definitely you should share and you should tell and you should tell them. And there's no doubt about it. But then this thought that we should do something like this can be a trap for you. And that can be slipping away from this uninvolved witnessing into something which you are involved. Now I have to tell you a very, very important thing, and I'm not saying just to you, but it is for everyone. The same act can be done in two different ways. And so let's say two people are doing an act. Let's say a person who is busy. So let's say someone is love action and he's busy from one work to another and he wants to do this and do that. That is all that action is part of ego only. Even good action, even and bad action, both. It is part. If the ego has some good values in it, it wants to do some good work. But that doership is there. If the doership is there, then you are not there. Then it is only ego. You are not there. It is only ego there. When the doership is there. Understand this. Another person might be doing the same thing, but he is not interested in anything. But because things are coming to him, he has to finish the task as it comes. Do you understand? So let's say a man goes out to help others and he's looking for a blind man whom he can make the road cross, and he's just looking, and then someone is not looking to help anyone, but a blind man is just next to him and he says, can you help me? And he's helping. This is the difference between doership and just things which are happening. You will be more at peace if things happens, they unfold in the most beautiful way on its own, without any doership. The moment the doership comes, whether others benefit or not, I don't know, but you will be at loss. So understand this trap. This is a big trap in everyone on the path of spirituality, that the moment we start having this fragrance, this bliss, and slowly dawns, we think that, and it's very natural, we think we should share with others. And you are that presence which wherever you move, that sharing will happen. But the moment we give it, start giving it as a structure and move on, then you will start feeling that agitation or restlessness or of the doership. So the loss is yours, not others. But then you will think, no, I will still help others, whatever, whether someone calls me doer. But the problem is that this other, who is this other? This is only in your dream. They are all part of your dreams. That some might be already awake and some might want to stay sleeping. They don't want to awake. So we can politely or humbly be there. And if there is someone who is interested, he will come from any direction. Someone will come from somewhere. We don't know. And even if one person comes and he meeting you, if he gets that message or somehow opening occurs, that's so beautiful. Even one person. So I would say that stay in that awareness, and if things unfold around you, that's fine. But don't make it like a statement for anything. Just stay in that openness, unintentional thing. But yes, if someone wants you to say something about it, definitely tell them. So I'm just telling you this because there are so many things which we start, but then we ourselves get trapped into it. So it is better to just stay like that. Actually, I had a call from New York, and he was telling me the guy who actually helped to set it up, and his name is Dennis Hartle, I think, if I'm correct. So I was told that this man did all best efforts for last, 20, 30 years or whatever it is. to set it up. And then one day he just disappeared from everything. He said, I'm just leaving.
He said 50 years. He was involved in it for 50 years.
Oh, 50 years. Yeah. So
from the age of 20 or 21. Yeah.
Okay. So look, he started that. And then just recently I was informed that he just walked out. Nobody knows where he has gone. He said, enough of this. And I'm just, so that means he was a pure soul and whatever it is, but finally you have to be free. You have to be free, not others. So the moment we start thinking that we have to make others free, we get into trap. So 50 years of helping, I don't know, maybe thousands and thousands of people he must have helped and getting that Arunachal Ashram, that finally he thought that he should just move out. And because this moving out should be the first step, move out from doership. The first step is getting rid of this ego. And I'll tell you the issue with Karma Yoga or the path of action, or what most of the people who are very Rajasic, who have a lot of energy and wants to do action, for them to be free is most difficult, because they only know action and they think that action will make them free. But go back to Bhagavan's teaching. Bhagavan says action is always a trap. Action will lead to some fruits of that action. Those fruits will lead to more action, and then more action and more action. And then action will lead to some fruit, some reward that will only boost up your ego. That I am something, I am. Actually, the problem is that there is only I am. There's no I am that or I am this. That is not there. Just I amness. And from I amness, you have to go into that extinction of the ego completely. Then only the bliss will be felt. Otherwise, there is no bliss in action. No action brings any bliss. Otherwise, why you tell me people get so off when it is Monday, on Sunday they feel, oh, again to work, oh my God. And then that they say, thanks God it's Friday, at least there's no work. So work is a big bondage for everyone, because that ego feels pressure under the pump. How good your boss is, how much you work, love your work, but still you can keep saying work is worship or whatever. But till there is an ego which is doing a work, you are not free. So this Karma Yoga, even the action to help others, is a trap, because you have to have a Nishkam Karma, which means that you should have no ego. It is not for you. There should be no doership. If you are at that level where there is no ego, there is no doership, then yes, then the work is happening, but who is doing it? Action happens on its own. Nobody does it. So understand that to be free from this delusion, we have to be always in that uninvolved state. Always in that uninvolved state. Work comes to us, we don't go to the work. It is something like this, if I can make you understand. So externally it might look that it might look same from external if a person is doing an action, but whether he is involved in action because that was the necessity of time, or was he looking for some action? Because we all are working, we all are doing some work. So that work is our job or, at household. But then you sit for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or half an hour. You will know whether that doership is going on and running to find things coming from your own restlessness, or the work is reaching you and you have to accomplish. Which way is the transaction happening? Because, Andy, the most important thing is you should not leave your bliss. Don't leave your seat at any stage, any time in your life, for any reason. For any reason, you don't have to go into this doership role, because doership is ego. Ego is the one who says or feels that I am doing and I am this and I have to achieve or I have to accomplish. Mind can have a thought, because let's say you have a deadline and you have to plan. But even then, you can be a witness. And you can stay as a witness, and things can be done in deadline by the body. And the mind can think and plan things for that. But you can be a witness still. Because you're none of these. You're not the body, you're not the mind. You are that witness which is happening, which is seeing how things are happening, unfolding throughout the day. I'll tell you, if you want to experience this more deeper, leave the day unplanned and see how things are happening. They unfold on its own. Let's say one day you decide that today is my off, I'll just sit. You see, someone will contact you, something is broken, some email has come, someone wants you, something will happen and it will make this body busy. But till there is a doership, we think that we are busy, we are doing something, we have to plan something, we have to do something good. All actions are same, good or bad, they are all trap. Yes, for the external world, they are good actions and bad actions. But from the purpose of ego, they both are trap. And the freedom is only when we are not involved in anything. Understand, for a seeker, it has to be very clear that body's movement is not your involvement. Your feeling of doership is your involvement. Because body will move, body has to act on something or the other as the situation arises. And sometimes mind has to plan something. But understand that these two things are not you at any given time. You are always a witness to it. Don't forget to count yourself as first. You stay as what you are. And then whatever is happening, you are witnessing and I am witnessing and everyone is witnessing. But the moment you slip into the doership, you lose your peace. That is the only thing. Because that peace, that bliss is coming from that pure awareness only. That is you can say, the quality or fragrance of this purity, untainted purity, which is not involved in anything. Undifferentiated awareness. The moment it gets involved in anything, any good or bad, doesn't matter, anything, it becomes, the agitation comes. The moment you own it. So action is not a problem. Ownership of action, doership, that I am doing it. Because when I do, then I feel bad when the actions does not produce the result. And when I do and the actions produce the desired result, who gets the credit? Not the pure self, ego. And then we have created a more obstacle to get rid of. Even if you have a doership, just think it very, very simply how the day unfolds. There are so many things in a day which could have gone wrong, isn't it? Whatever work we do, whether we are a surgeon or an engineer or mechanic or whatever, even going from your home to work, you can have an accident. Last 1 month, I heard about half a dozen very bad accidents of people around me. And the way they were analyzing, it looks like it was the mistake of the other person. That is the other thing the ego does. It always finds others' fault. So I was not in the scene. But it looks like somehow the accident happened while they were just driving simply and somebody bumped into it. Bad smash and some minor injuries or something like that. But nobody died actually. That was good. But just see that, so these accidents, these things can happen with anyone, anytime. Who plans accidents? Same thing can happen at work. Work-related injuries, accidents, or even things sometimes things don't happen. So how things are happening in a smooth way in someone's life and then other person's life, every time there is an obstacle coming. It just happens. When we understand this, then we get more humble, we have more compassion, then we stop giving credit to ourselves in all the goodness happening every day. Because there's so much of bad stuff can also happen. We are not an exception. It's the same type of body we are carrying like others. We are not any special body. And bodies are very sensitive to disease, to decay, to injuries. And same is our mind, very volatile. It is active, it is interacting. It can pick up a wrong thought. It can even act on a wrong thought. And here comes this pure awareness, where you stay untainted from any thought, any action of the body. You stay as just nameless, formless awareness, which is watching the show, for which this body, another body, and all bodies are the same. In the same dream, they are all part of the same. They are in the ocean of that pure awareness, everything. And that ocean is you only, no one else. And then we will keep living with so many beings around us who are not interested in it. And that's pretty okay. No issues with that. And then there will be people who you don't know. They might come and then listening to what you are saying, they get this awakening or maybe an interest in awakening. And they will feel the peace coming from you. And maybe people who might be knowing you from the past and the change they will see in you, that might lead them to in search of this. What is this awakening from within? And we cannot plan anything. Awareness is actually knows less than everyone else around it. It has no clue what is happening, why it is happening. Even if miracle happens, it has no clue. You can call it the grace of that awareness does, but that awareness is clueless. It is just unplanned presence. If things happens, it's good. If things doesn't happen, it is very good. There's no pressure. Stay in that unpressured area where if things have to unfold, it will unfold. If things have to manifest, if people have to join, people have to leave, who can decide about how it happens? So, like Bhagavan, he found his bliss and so many people joined him. And then there can be someone in a cave, nobody joined him, and he's in his pure bliss. There are people like that. But then maybe the plants, the animals, birds, he was for them. They are also like us. Those birds, those animals, they are getting bliss out of him. And for them also it is like getting into that pure self. Maybe he's helping at sitting somewhere in Himalayas, or maybe just his presence is changing the atmosphere in that city. Who knows? Decreasing the crime rate in that city. Who knows? Why things happen in a particular way? It is only the ego which questions. Ego has doubts. Ego has always doubts about things, and ego plans ahead everything. And that is why it suffers. Awareness has no plans. Awareness is like flowing river. It just keeps flowing. It has no idea where it is going, why it is going. But it has faith. It has trust. And so it flows. That power, that awareness, which it is part of it, it believes in it. Because it is part of it, and it knows now that it is part of that. So when you have that awareness, that ocean of awareness, that infinite awareness, and you know that you are that only, then nothing affects you. Things only affect the sense of body-mind complex, because it is so limited. It is always in fear of destruction in some way or the other, by a disease, or by mind, by some insult or something like that. But awareness is that which has no clue about where it ends, where it starts, what is its shape. And it stays the same. And it has nothing to compare, because awareness, let's say your consciousness or my consciousness, is the same consciousness. What to compare? We can only compare forms. How can you compare a formless thing which has no form? What would you compare non-form to non-form? Only a form can be compared. And if you stay and you let that ocean of awareness, you identify with the ocean of awareness, then your ego is like a small creature in that ocean which will drown completely. It can't keep its ugly head. It is just drowned. So keep all your energy there. And if something has to happen, it will happen through you. Even if you don't want, then also it will happen. But don't give shape to any task, from small to big. When you stay just as pure awareness, the only thing which is most important is happiness. You will never lose. So remember, fear, desire, and discontent or restlessness are the attributes of ego only. The moment you touch bliss within you, you are so contented that if no one around you is there, you are in absolute bliss. And any action, intention of any action for any reason, looks like a big effort, because there is no doership. So hundreds of activities just drop because there is no reason to do it. I'll give you an example. If you see, lot of sages don't even move from where they are after getting this experience. See Bhagavan, he never moved from there. See Nisargadatta Maharaj. There are so many people. Once they got it, they didn't move. And they say this type of vritti or this type of thing, they call it like they become like Python. Just there and that's all. Like Python. And their body movements also, or their actions also, everything speaks the stillness within, because it is so still. You can think that it is laziness, but it is not laziness. Actually, sattvic person or a sattvic mind looks like a lazy mind, isn't it? Nothing happening. But it is beyond Rajasic. It is furthest. Because action is a sign of a restless mind. I will do this, I will do this, I will do that. It never ends. Its task never ends. Sometimes the task is given even to a sage. The life brings a task. And some sage, they look like so busy because task after task after task. If you see Krishna, my God, he looks like he was always busy. But see, he was a king, and how life he went through, his all previous siblings were killed and the way he was saved, and so much of action. But that's the way that body was supposed to go through. But in all honesty, he was not planning to do next or next. The life was bringing him from one thing to other, to other, to other. And he was just following it.
There is a beautiful shloka about this. It gives examples of 5 or 6 persons. Shukatyagi, Krishna Bhogi, Nripau Janaka Raghavu, Vasishta Karmakarta Yete Jnanina. All these 5 guys, Shuka, Krishna Shuka was a Tyagi. He has nothing and he is walking around. Krishna was a Bhogi, he was enjoying everything. Nripau Janaka Raghava. Janaka and Raghava were kings. Whereas our Vasishta was a Karmakarta, doing all kinds of works, doing all kinds of rituals. But none of them were affected to Jnanis. So it doesn't matter what walk of life they are in. They were staying put without their ego. That's what most important is.
And I'll tell you, when we pay attention to the awareness, things happening or not happening, they are completely insignificant in life. And the life will take you where it has to take you. It will continue in its own beautiful way. And life will always be beautiful, whether you are alone or with people or what type of people, nothing matters. Because once you are out of the dream, you are free, you are always free. Like a lucid dream, when you know that you are not in the part, then what action would you do? Because again, going to the same Bhagavan, that who are these others? Others are part of the same dream. My dream, no one else's dream. And in my dream, who has to be awake? Only me. And in this, my dream, if I am awake and if the other dream people are coming, it's fine. If not coming, that's okay. But I have to be awake. Like a blind cannot teach up another blind, So put all your energy in this pure awareness. And if something comes to this awareness in any way, it will happen. And if nothing has to come, that is so good. The bliss goes deeper and deeper, like your own cooking, your incubation. Because even a trace of ego will bring you back into samsara, because it will give you some work. The mind will say, oh, you are having a good taste. Why don't you just share? So many times it happens. We call it yog bhrasht, like on a path we are trying, and then suddenly something pulls us, our energy into it. This silence is so bliss, and this awareness, what it does, what it doesn't does, who knows? You become that only knower of that bliss, but nothing else. Because it is so much of joy that you have zero interest in the external manifestation of this. What is happening, what is not happening. Your interest is completely gone. Otherwise, there are always activities in this world which can keep you busy, whether they are pleasures, indulgence, or duties, responsibilities, or some new work, or helping others, or creating trouble for others. Everyone is busy in something or other. The moment you touch this, you are lost. You are actually completely lost. That doership is gone. Then if someone doesn't invite you for a party, you feel so blissful. If people don't like you, it is so good, because then no one will call you. I'll tell you, you will not believe, but in India there are sages who try to externally show that they are stupid, dumb, mad, or aggressive. They will throw stones on others, or they will do some crazy thing. They will look disheveled deliberately, because they don't want to talk to anyone or want to get involved with anyone. Sometimes we call avdhutas, and there are so many stories in every city, every village in India. You will find those mad enlightened people. I heard from someone about a person. He said, because I don't want anyone to come close to me, so I just stay like a mad. This joy is so blissful that why some says that don't share it with anyone. Just be completely into it. Some says that this joy is so much, it is like, in Hindi there is a proverb, gunge ka gud, which means it is jaggery or the sweet of a dumb person who can't say what it is. You can't describe. All your attempts to describe are useless. So get into it deeper and deeper and deeper. But this body which we have come into, this being, if it has to perform something, it will compel you to do that, and then that's okay. Again, go back to Bhagavan, what he did. He was not doing anything. Only one thing he started doing was, when the kitchen was established, he was helping in the kitchen. Then he realized that some people didn't like it, or something happened and stopped going to the kitchen also. What work was he doing? Tell me. As a doer, he was not anything, nothing. He was not doing anything. He used to have his breakfast and then walk onto the mountain, and then have lunch and rest, and then walk on the mountain, and then someone will come. And look, people, I don't know how during those times, when there was no media, people came from South America, everywhere. Who came? Who wanted to know that? They came. There were no aeroplanes. People came by ship. It took months and months. We are so lucky. Those all teachings are there on YouTube in the form of books. We are all readily available. We are just connected now. This was so difficult during Bhagavan's time. And let's say during Bhagavan's time, if you come, you will get that bliss in Bhagavan's presence. That was something beautiful. But then whatever doubts if someone is bringing clarification, maybe Bhagwan is speaking that day or not, it doesn't matter. But yes, in his presence, most of the doubts disappeared. But now we have all that information of all his teachings compiled. Everything accessible. It is much easier for us now than during his days. And Bhagwan, he never had all that access to teachings before his awakening. Now we have everything. So go back again to Bhagwan's teaching. Actually, I'll tell you, most of the books confuse you. You keep reading Bhagavad Gita, I'll tell you 90% of people who read Bhagavad Gita thinks that to know God, you have to do action. With action, you will reach Karam Yoga. All my friends who have this Rajasik Pravrti, they're busy in work, they're all busy in action. And they said, Bhagavad Gita says that. The way it says is different. That all the work should be egoless. And see Bhagwan. Bhagwan says action will never take you there. He finishes the whole story. And he does not talk about many paths. He talks only about the direct path. And this direct path is stay as this awareness. If you stay there like that, what we call as ego will dissolve in no time. And that beautiful awareness is that egolessness. That is emptiness, but it is alive. That aliveness is the source of everything. All this mind which has created everything. That is also coming from that. All the things, all the beings are coming from that mind. And that, what you are, is the source of all this picture going on. And you are always that. But until you come out of the mind, you will never understand it. I'm a neurologist, okay? Everyone comes to me, they talk about mind, and they all are satisfied that neurologists have now in this century have sorted out this puzzle of mind. And they make life so easy for any neurologist or anatomist. They say mind is the product of the brain. So simple. Mind is the product of brain, because when there is a lesion in the brain in any particular part, that action is not done, that action doesn't happen. And they have closed the book now. I had a student and we were talking about mind and brain, looking through the theories and research articles. They've said this, Aristotle said that, Hippocrates said that, this philosopher said that, and they said it was such a puzzle. This neurologist, after all this neurological knowledge, this chapter is now closed. So they have already closed this. It's all sorted out. Brain is the seat of mind, and no brain, no mind. Then what Bhagavan is saying, Manonasha, to kill mind, then according to neurologists, we have to kill brain. So everyone who is in a persistent vegetative state is a mukta, has got moksha. Who is in persistent where the brain is dead, then you get moksha. That's what it means. If brain is the seat of the mind. And there are not one theory, there are hundreds of theories. Philosophers have their theory, physicists have their theory. But understand, it is like blind people touching an elephant. You have heard that story? that few blind people were touching an elephant from different parts. Someone was touching tusk, someone was touching trunk, another tail, another body, another leg, and they came to different conclusions what this animal is. All these people are blind people in the domain within the mind, and they are touching mind from different things. No one who is giving these theories have transcended mind and seen as mind as witness to mind. The problem in all theories is that the theorist has to leave the mind to know the mind. If you live in mind, you can come with a theory, but that theory will be of zero use. That will satisfy your own ego, but it will not be reality. To know the reality, you have to be reality. That's all. And the problem is here, you can tell others how to know that reality. And if they are not interested in reality, they are only interested in theory, they will never reach it or they will never know it. And they can create their own theories and they can fight with you and they can have argument with you. But they will not be free and they will never understand. To understand, you have to return to the source. If you don't return to the source, no one can tell you anything about it. No one else can bring you. People can point towards it, sage or books or a satsang, but you have to be there. Otherwise, you will create a theory or your intellect will be satisfied with the theory. And all these theories are within the mind. Whole world is within the mind. All these theories about mind are inside the mind game only. Outside it, there is nothing. There is no mind. Or if the mind is there, it is just like a small thing which does not matter to you at all. They say that mind is not a matter. Mind is abstract. So never mind it. It is not matter. And sage says that mind is a matter. It's part of matter. It's part of the sthul sharir. It's part of the food body. At the same, there is a mind body. It is not that pure awareness. It is not abstract. Some say it is just a process coming out of the brain functioning. The brain functions in a way and the mind creates thoughts and the mind acts. If that is the case, when someone does a crime, kills someone, then you should punish brain, isn't it? Not the mind, not the person. So brain should go to the jail. Why that person is responsible? If the brain is creating all things and the mind is the creation of the brain, then I don't have any control on my brain. My brain is still working. Right now it is working. I have zero control. All the theories will confuse you at the end and will not lead to the solution. They are all intellectual debates. To know the truth, you have to transcend mind and be that pure awareness which stand alone, which does not need support of the mind or the brain or the word or anything. It is on its own support. More you read about all these theories, more you will get mad and confused. And this is the reason no one touches this pure, because I was shown this article by this student that it says that all these theories coming from ancient lore, about non-duality and all, that doesn't hold anything, that mind, kosha and all. Because if you have decided that this is what it is, then end of the story, Be that pure self all the time. Always strive to be there. Always pay attention to it. Don't own any thought. Let them come and go. Break away your relationship with thoughts. No relationship. And then the beautiful opening will open for you. Self will reveal itself to you. You have to be its devotee. Constant devotee. All the time devotee. And look how beautifully it will show you its own. Your own self will reveal yourself. This is the real mystery. This unraveling of this mystery will happen within you. And when it happens to you, it is like a declaration in the whole cosmos. You can't hide it. It will show on your face. It will show in your life. It will show in your bodily movements. But you have to be devotee of it. If you call this awareness as God or whatever, absolute, it has only one thing which it wants from you, that you are only interested in it. Like it is a lover which does not want you to have other affairs. It wants only you. You should be there. Only for it. Then it will tell you the secret. And how beautiful it is. It is like you knowing yourself. When you dissolve in it. When you surrender to it. When you give up what you always thought you are. That personality, that persona, that mask which this self is wearing, that mask has to dissolve. And this mask is our own illusion. We have gathered this garbage of concepts and things around us, and then we have created this mask, and now we think this is what we are, and we have planned our life in a way, 5-year plan, 10-year plan, 20-year plan. This I need, that car I need, that type of suburb I will live, this, and then what happens? We are in a trap. Then we will never know that pure awareness what we are. And we will live this fake life on a roller coaster, joys and sorrows, and some things are happening, fulfilling. Sometimes we are not getting what we want. And then what happens? This life of this body is so limited. It will continue through this play, and one day, boom, it finishes. But the problem here is, for all these scientists, the brain is dead, the body is dead. But the truth of the matter is the mind is not dead. If the mind is dead after the death of the body, then it is beautiful. Then there's no drama is left. Dead is dead, but that's not the case. Then that mind takes another form. If death of the body is death of the mind, then it is so easy. Death of the mind can only happen when you dissolve this mind into that pure awareness by being devotee of this pure awareness. So the mind merges into the heart. So all the sankalpas, all the intentions, it might appear to someone, but there is no intention left. If there is intention, always remember there is something is left to be sorted out. But work continues, action continues. Till the body is there, something will happen, something will keep happening. You know the Krishna for which Nilakantanji was saying he was a bhogi, that's the way they describe. But there was no actual bhogi. Bhog was happening, but he was a witness to it.
Exactly.
And this is the thing. So for external person, you can call anything when you don't know, sage. I don't want to name, even nowadays and in the past also. You can blame anyone for anything. That doesn't matter at all for a sage. But he is not a doer. Things just happens. And if things happens, good or bad, he does not take any credit or any discredit for anything, because he knows this body was supposed to do this. That's why it must be happening. And so one day those things might stop. That is also okay. He has no intention to continue or discontinue any activity for any reason, because he is very selfish in that sense. He does not want to leave his bliss. Doership is losing the bliss. Doership is that agitation of mind. You don't touch that doership anymore, because you have lived that life. Now you are that. You will never ever move there. Once you are out of that prison of mind, why you want to go back there and check? But yes, even as a witness, you can see that body is acting and taking up a role. And there's no duality in it. Actually, if you ask Bhagavan would get offended if even people say the seeker starts from duality and become one. He says, when the seeker you are saying was in duality, it was his illusion only. There is no duality. Even to start on the path of spirituality or going within, when we talk about duality, he says it's only an illusion. Why you call there he was dual? He was never a dual.